You could be missing out on the ultimate creative tool. And here's the thing, you probably already have it. Like you, I'm constantly looking for new ways to level up my creativity, and I've explored every tool that I could get my hands on. I've tried all sorts of different papers and tons of different inks. Normal inks, glowing inks, combining inks, even invisible inks. But all these years, I've totally missed possibly the ultimate creative tool that's been right under my nose this entire time. And it costs less than this. The number 2 pencil. Actually, 2 number 2 pencils. That's right. This ridiculously cheap and simple tool just unlocked a world of creativity for me. How? Normally, when we do calligraphy, especially the blackletter style that I love, we create solid blocks of lines. So, most of the opportunities for adding creative elements live on the outside of the letters. Outlines, flourishes, shadows, decorative elements, whatever. But these simple tools unlock something totally new, something absolutely magical. In fact, the very first time I tried writing with these, I couldn't pull myself away from the page for over 3 hours. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with a fun little game in just a sec. But first, let's get set up and talk about 2 pretty awesome things when using these tools. The first awesome thing is just how easy the setup is. Step 1, sharpen 2 pencils. You've probably been doing this since grade school, so enough said there. Step 2, attach them together with a rubber band or whatever's convenient. I hilariously couldn't find a rubber band to save my life when I first tried this, but I found a Velcro cable tie that works great too. With our pencils ready, the second awesome thing about these is that you can use absolutely any paper you want. See, normally when we're working with pen and paper, we have to be a bit more selective because the ink will bleed on most standard papers. Heck, it even bleeds on some fancier ones. But here we're just using pencils, so use whatever paper you want, whether it's printer paper or it's some fancy art paper that you love. Technically, that's absolutely everything we'll need, but a few quality of life upgrades include a ruler to make some guidelines for the letters. You can also grab the new number 2 pencil Blackletter guide sheets I just added to my giant treasure trove bundle of free resources. Just head over to blackletterfreebies.com and you can get the whole bundle totally for free. With the guide sheets, a light box is also a super handy tool for the Bristol paper that I'm going to be using, and I'll be using some fine felt tip pens later as part of the little game that I mentioned. For this little game, we're going to write the word ultimate. To write each of the letters, we'll use the exact same approach that I introduced in this video. I'm going to use the 40-degree version of these guides that I created. I'm going to start by pulling the first stroke of the U up a little bit higher than what we did for the lowercase version, and that's going to give us an approximation of an uppercase U. So let's go ahead and start all the way right up here. Why not? I'm not picking any specific spot. We're just having fun here. So diagonal line number 2, just starting with something a little bit, maybe something curved to give it an interesting look. And then line 1, straight, as straight as we can. Line 2. And coming all the way back up here, and this is what I was talking about with, because the pen's a bit wider, it requires more of that whole arm movement. Now the L, same thing at the top. This is going to look real repetitive. L, straight down, diagonal line, and then the T, straight at the top again, vertical line down, diagonal line, and then to do that crossbar, we're going to use that line 4 that we used previously. So right here at the corner, just come across like so. That's good enough. Now for the I, we can actually do a little ligature, have a little ligature fun here, and use that crossbar from the T to jump into the I if we want, and then we could totally abandon that later if we decide to. So we're going to go diagonal straight into the I, and then let's come down vertically again, and then diagonal line number 2. And what I'm doing here, just so that you're aware, is I'm just making sure my pencil is positioned so that both pencil tips are basically touching the line, and that makes sure that I'm using the right angle. Each one of these lanes, as I call them, is intended to fit the entire pen width, or in this case, the 2 pencil tips. So that was the I. Now maybe we curve into the M just a little bit for fun. Come in there with a little diagonal line 2, and then line 1 again, line 2 again. And the beautiful part about this is we're not really married to any of this at any point. We can still come back in and change this when we make our final design. So that was again 2, 1, 2. Go one more time, little line 3 coming up just for fun. Then a line 2 again, and then coming down to our line 1, vertical line 1, and then a line 2, diagonal line. And I think IMA is the next letter, so A. We'll start a little bit lower, right where that dot is, to give us a measuring spot. And we're going to come down the A, vertical line, diagonal line, diagonal line at the top there, and then vertical line down, diagonal line again. Almost done. Here's the T, that last T, vertical line, and then a diagonal line. Finally, the E. We can add the little crossbar here too if we want. We may even change these later though, so let's see what happens. But we'll put it there just for now, so we've got something to aim for if we want. And then the E, we're going to start lower on the E again, right around where that dot is with this pencil. So right there. And then we'll pull a vertical line down, diagonal line to the corner. You know what? I'm going to pull up a little line 3 just for fun. Again, we may not use that. We may, we'll see. Come back up to the top and meet this corner where we ended this, or we started this pen stroke. I said pen, and we're dealing with pencils here. I'm so used to using pens. We'll start back up here at the top to finish the E and draw a little diagonal line right to where that dot is. And then diagonal skinny line number 3 to finish. Okay, we've got the framework for the letters. Now let's have some real fun and play a little game. I created a list of 12 completely random styles to apply for each of the letters that we just wrote. And I also have a super cool 12-sided die. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to roll the die and it's going to pick how we finish off the design of every single letter. The design is going to be totally random with just one rule. I can't use the same style twice. So if I roll a duplicate, I have to re-roll until I get a style that we haven't already used. I'll be sharing an image of today's creation in my next newsletter that you can download and print or pull into your favorite digital art program. And I'd love to see what kind of amazing designs you create. I also have another mission for you. Grab 2 pencils, come up with your own prompts, or feel free to use the ones that I came up with today, and try this out yourself. I'd love to hear if you get as addicted to this fun as I did, so drop a comment if you give this a shot. You can also check out another tutorial right here where we get creative with one of my all-time favorite techniques, color blending. In the meantime, keep writing, keep playing, and have an absolutely fantastic day. I will see you next time.